Let's see how much of an audio delay I get. So for anybody that's already in here, I'm just going to fire some stuff up just to see what kind of delay we're getting.
Howdy, and welcome to Lie Swatter, the massive true or false trivia game. We can accommodate a huge number of players in a game. Although I suppose it's not the size of the player lobby that matters, it's what you do with it. All right then, before we get started, don't forget, new players can go to this website and enter this room code to join the game at any time. Let's play. You're going to see 7 crazy facts pulled from these fact categories. Brad Pitt got stabbed at a Pizza Hut buffet. Use your device to pick whether you think the fact is true or a lie. George Clooney discovered a sea slug that was named Oceanus elevenus. According to TV Guide, the Pope's favorite TV show is Bones. Charlie
Hello? All right, so I am going to see what we got here. For the, looks like 8 people watching. So, welcome to Element. This is a little different than what we normally do. We're going to try and play Lie Swatter, which is one of those Jackbox games. This one's pretty big. It's just true or false trivia. There is going to be a bit of a delay on your answers, though, because what I'm seeing on my machine is the stuff actually running, so you guys are going to get it a little bit after that. So there's going to be a little timer up in that left-hand corner. You are going to want to buzz in pretty much as fast as you got that answer, because that timer is going to be a little bit off because of the streaming delay. So we'll run a couple games. We'll see how it goes. People, I believe, can jump in at any time. Yeah, so we'll fire one up right now and see how it goes. Oh, also, you can use that live chat to participate and connect with people, and maybe between games we'll have some other stuff to say.
How goes it? And welcome to Lie Swatter, the massive true or false trivia game. We can accommodate a huge number of players in a game. Just trust us, we totally can. All right then, before we get started, don't forget, new players can go to this website and enter this room code to join the game at any time. Let's go! You're going to see 7 crazy facts pulled from the following fact categories. There's an image of 3 naked men embracing on the Nobel Peace Prize. Use your device to pick whether you think the fact is true or a lie. NASCAR's official song is Tracy Chapman's Fast Car. Cartoonist Gary Larson owns a slaughterhouse. Kiwis used to be called millenettes. In the original novel, Pinocchio kills the talking cricket with a wooden hammer. Christopher Columbus called avocados cowless butter. The pajama blue jeans were invented before denim blue jeans. And here's where everyone stands at the end of round one. Here are your new fact categories. Horse racing is illegal in Kentucky. In 2008, a Swiss man crossed the English Channel wearing a jetpack. Bill Clinton appointed his cat Socks the honorary secretary of napping. Bela Lugosi was buried wearing a Dracula cape. A tropical fish named after Darwin has 2 little feet. Salt Lake City's airport does not serve coffee. All of Iceland's nuclear bombs are named after Bjork songs. Here are your scores. For the final round, all the facts will be about one category. That category is former band names. Which of these facts about band names are true and which are lies? The Goo Goo Dolls were originally the Sex Maggots. The Beach Boys were originally Carl and the Passions. Radiohead was originally Grandma Sadness. The Beatles were originally Johnny and the Moondogs. The Red Hot Chili Peppers were originally Stink Party. Nirvana was originally Pee Pee Poo Poo. The Four Seasons were originally the Three Seasons. Let's see the final scores. It's time for another game of Lies.
All right, so I'm going to pause for a sec. Hopefully that was going pretty well for everybody on speed and everything. For students participating, I just want to let you guys know that, you have time off from school because of everything going on, but now is a great time to try and connect with your leaders. We'd love to stay in touch with you. So if you don't have your leader's number already, you can direct message me on Instagram and I can get that number to you. Just let me know what leader's number you need. We can get you in contact that way. Also, Riverview is streaming their Sunday services, so that is a great way to still stay connected and thinking about things. We can do some remote life groups potentially with your leader, depending on what schedules look like. So if you watch those services, we can do discussion questions off of those. And I just want to encourage people, you probably have a ton of downtime right now, so maybe you never got into the Word before. Now is a great time since you're kind of sitting around to really crack open the Bible and take a look at it. So, all right, we're going to fire up another game.
Water. You're going to see 7 crazy facts pulled from these fact categories. Sam's Club briefly sold Nadia Suleiman brand baby food. Bees produce colored honey after eating M&Ms. Stephen King based his evil clown Pennywise on Willard Scott. Nicolas Cage is banned for life from the Smithsonian. To win a lifetime supply of Quaker Oats, people lived as Quakers in 1996. first aid training is required to get a German driver's license. Prince can play every instrument but the slide whistle. And here's where everyone stands at the end of round one. Here are your new fact categories. Studies show eating bananas makes women more likely to give birth to a boy. There's a bowling alley in Japan that has 116 lanes. Cleopatra is credited with inventing the hand mirror. The image of Alexander Hamilton on the $10 bill is a self-portrait. Babies are covered in grape jelly to simulate birth fluids in movies. Gerard Depardieu was briefly the mayor of Paris. A Navi was added in the background of a scene in Titanic 3D. Here are your scores. For the final round, all the facts will be about one category. That category is Lenin statues. Try to guess which facts about statues of Lenin are real and which are lies. R. Kelly has a fountain of Uncle Sam peeing on Lenin.
So this game's rated PG.
Sputnik had a Lenin figurine on board. Madonna simulated sex with a Lenin statue at a concert in West Berlin. There is a headless Lenin statue in Las Vegas's Mandalay Bay Casino. At St. Basil's Cathedral in Moscow, there's a statue of Lenin holding baby Jesus. There's a Lenin statue at the base of the Chinese side of Mount Everest. There's a bust of Lenin in the geographical center of Antarctica. Let's see the final scores. It's time for another game of Lie Swatter. You're going to see 7 crazy facts pulled from the following fact categories. Icelandic roads are rerouted to avoid suspected elf dwellings. One in every 4 toys is eventually recalled. Ben Cohen of Ben & Jerry's is lactose intolerant and has never eaten ice cream. Vaseline's inventor demonstrated it by burning himself and then dabbing on Vaseline. At At the Hard Rock Cafe Munich, patrons pee into the mouths of famous rockers. JFK printed his speeches in Braille so he never had to look down. Some Easter Island heads are kissing each other. And here's where everyone stands at the end of round one. Here are your next 7 fact categories. Cats cannot taste sugar. An episode of I Love Lucy was pulled because Lucy was wearing jeans. A giant foam olive is dropped into a 10-foot martini glass every New Year's in Oklahoma. Andy Warhol invented the beanbag chair. Lawrence Welk's coffin is a giant plastic champagne bottle. The longest pinball game ever lasted for 3 months. A chicken orgasms every time it lays an egg. Here are your scores. For the final round, all the facts will be about one category. That category is X. I'd like to apologize in advance for this one, but see if you can figure out which of these X statements are mathematically true or not. X cubed over X squared equals X. X squared times X equals X cubed. When X is an integer that isn't 0, 1 over X cubed is less than or equal to 1. X squared plus 3x plus 64 equals x plus 8 times x plus 8. X squared equals XOXO. X squared plus X cubed equals 69XXX. X over X equals X plus 3. Let's see the final scores. It's time for another game of Lie Swatter. You're going to see 7 crazy facts pulled from these fact categories. Humans and beavers are the only animals that produce earwax. Mexico has 1 lake. Mount Everest's name in Nepal, Sagarmatha, means the goddess's breasts. King Henry III had a pet polar bear that he allowed to fish in the Thames. Albert Einstein melted his Nobel Prize when he needed gold for an experiment. Queen Elizabeth II has 2 birthdays. Barack Obama DVRs every episode of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. And here's where everyone stands at the end of round 1. Here are your new fact categories. Cow poop is the #1 export of Ireland. There's a toilet unclogging competition held annually in Muncie, Indiana. There are 4 species of Brazilian fungi that control ant brains. Clark Gable developed mono after filming a kissing scene in Gone with the Wind. Edison hired someone to place a light bulb over his head whenever he had an idea. The first successful eye transplant recipient was Peter Falk. A New York doctor created Poker Tox, Botox that enhances a card player's poker face. Here are your scores. For the final round, all the facts will be about one category. That category is former Olympic events. Which of these are real events that have been part of the Olympics, and which are ones we just made up? Jump rope. Poetry. Murder. Scrabble. Tug of war. Jet skiing. Shooting live pigeons. Let's see the final scores. It's time for another game of Lie Swatter. You're going to see 7 crazy facts pulled from the following fact categories. The first explosive used by the German military was called the Jaeger bomb. Chickens are the only vertebrates that do not have a central nervous system. Ulysses S. Grant once got a speeding ticket for riding his horse too fast. A dentist invented the electric chair. A group of Harvard mathematicians were fired for making up a bunch of numbers in pi. The K in K-Swiss stands for Kriegmünster-Lauterflen. Rowing is the only exercise that works the tape muscle. And here's where everyone stands at the end of round 1. Here are your new fact categories. Most closets open up from the floor in Japan. Bill Cosby punched one of the Smothers Brothers at the Playboy Mansion. Members of the Latin Kings are all required to learn conversational Latin. Ralph Nader sang, "A consumer advocate's a person in your neighborhood" on Sesame Street. The modern goalpost was designed by Frank Lloyd Wright. Bhutan is not a country, but a state of mind. Queen Elizabeth II is actually the 10th Queen Elizabeth. Here are your scores. For the final round, all the facts will be about one category. That category is small Ohio towns. Which of these are real small towns in Ohio, and which ones did I just make up? And I can't promise I'll pronounce them all correctly. Poland, Ohio. Brazil, Ohio. Japan, Ohio. Egypt, Ohio. Middle Earth, Ohio. Canada, Ohio. Russia, Ohio. Let's see the final scores. It's time for another game of Lie Swatter. You're going to see 7 crazy facts pulled from these fact categories. Cristal has a clear bottle in order to discourage poisoning. Koalas secrete a thin silk that can be used for climbing. Jim Carrey was offered the role of James Bond but turned it down. King Charles II's wig was made out of a lion's mane. Bono is the Secretary of Culture in Ireland. Volleyball was invented for older men to play. Dunkin' Donuts only sells coffee grown in the United States. And here's where everyone stands at the end of round one. Here are your new fact categories. North Koreans have an average height 2 inches shorter than South Koreans. Martin Luther King Jr. was in an art class with Bob Ross. A German U-boat was torpedoed after it had to surface due to an improperly flushed toilet. A California school district banned dictionaries from schools. Koalas kill more Australians each year than snakes. SpongeBob originally had circular pants. The state of California tried to outlaw Starbucks. Here are your scores. For the final round, all the facts will be about one category. That category is American Girl dolls. Which of these facts about American Girl dolls are true, and which are adorable lies? Stephanie is the first transgender American Girl doll. American Girl stores offer manicures, facials, and pampering for dolls. A church in Memphis will baptize your American Girl doll. Men that collect American Girl dolls are known as creepsies. Elizabeth Taylor donated her hair to be used on the Elizabeth Taylor American Girl doll. Samantha was named the hottest American Girl doll by Maxim in 2005. Gwen is the homeless American Girl doll. Let's see the final scores. It's time for another game of Lie Swatter. You're going to see 7 crazy facts pulled from these fact categories. Picasso's full name is over 100 letters long. Easter Island has the highest concentration of rabbits in the world. There's a Cincinnati airline that encourages passengers to have in-flight sex. There is a picture of Burt Reynolds hidden in every episode of Jag. Crunchwrap Supreme was added to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary in 2011. Charles Lindbergh never got his driver's license. Michael Jackson has an uncredited cameo in Home Alone. And here's where everyone stands at the end of round 1. Here are your next 7 fact categories. Ryan Adams has Elvis's kidney stones in a jar on his mantle. Susan B. Anthony petitioned for women to be able to cheerlead in Ivy League schools. Babe Ruth kept a cabbage leaf under his hat during games. 60% of women claim the belly button to be the most erogenous spot on their body. Sean Connery is only 12 years older than Harrison Ford. Denver International Airport has a mural of a man in a gas mask holding an AK-47. The King of England knighted a blue whale that rammed into a Nazi submarine and sank it. Here are your scores. For the final round, all the facts will be about one category. That category is irony. Try to figure out which of these ironic facts are true and which ones are lies. The inventor of the smiley face suffered chronic depression. Think toy safety buttons were recalled because of lead paint and sharp edges. The founder of the first blood bank died from a bad blood transfusion. Some dogs are allergic to humans. The highest-rated 60 Minutes episode was on the dangers of watching television. The most popular TV show in U.S. prisons is Law and Order. Irony, New Mexico used to be named Sincerity, New Mexico. Let's see the final scores.
Alright, so I am going to kill this. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Again, if you want to try and get in contact with your leaders while all this stuff's going down, hit me up on Instagram with a direct message on the Element Instagram, and I will get you in contact with them. That's it. See you guys later.